What's going on? It's the Angry Blue Sock, here with a rare video that is not a Dear Angry request, and not a song request for the Angry Blue Jukebox. This is something that I had to respond to. I saw in the news today. I was checking my mail, and I saw an article by Jeff Goodman from FoxSports.com titled, Prep Star Considers Overseas Payday Over NCAA. See, the bottom line is this. About a year ago, Sonny Vaccaro was going to go to Europe with a bunch of high school kids, including A.J. Mayo, Bill Walker, and a few other elite players coming out of high school. And it didn't come through. But now this cat, Brandon Jennings, who's considered to be possibly the top freshman in the country coming into next year's class, is going to skip the NCAA entirely. And since there's a one-year waiting period before you go into the NBA draft, he's going to just go to Europe and most likely make at least a couple of $100,000, possibly up to $500,000. The ethical question is this. Should he be going to college for the so-called college experience? Or should he go to Europe, play with possibly a higher level of competition, maybe not get the same level of coaching, but make money, instead of having a college make money on him? Now, my take on it is it's really a case-by-case basis. If you are being touted by scouts, agents, whatnot, that you are the goods, and you're able to get an upfront guarantee that no matter what happens with the European experience, that you're going to get at least a couple of $100,000 from the agent alone, as a guarantee no matter what happens with your career, I say go for it. After all, if you have no real interest in playing in the NCAA, and you have no use for a free vacation or education, not to mention you don't plan on wanting to work for free for the most part. I mean, you get to live on campus. Yeah, you get free room and board, free food, but you don't get paid. So maybe the whole experience is worth, what, $50,000? Including the classes that will probably not be of use to you, since you're going to be making a living playing pro ball in the first place? Seems like a slam dunk. I didn't even mean to say anything about basketball. It was just the first reference that came to my mind about an easy decision. Now, as far as the other hand, there are a lot of kids, and I mean a lot, hundreds, thousands, who are great in high school, but their game just doesn't translate to the NBA, so they wind up being busts. You go to college, you find out, you know something, maybe I don't got what it takes, maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was, and you get a free education of the deal. So as long as you really have a good grasp on things, do what you gotta do. Period. Now, the next discussion topic I wanted to bring up is, I'm not sure how many of you came across this, but Bonnie Bernstein from ESPN was absolutely slammed for making comments on the Mike and Mike show on ESPN radio when she was talking about a high school basketball player who's considering playing professionally in Europe instead of college. You know, the guy we were just talking about. Basically, and I quote, she said, it's sort of like, you know, and this isn't, I'm prefacing this by saying this is in no way an analogy to sports, because I know we live in a hypersensitive society, but I remember a while ago I was reading an article in the New York Times about Palestinian suicide bombers, and I remember being struck by the notion that from the point of birth, people in Palestine are taught to think that dying in the name of God is a good thing. They grow up to be wanting to be suicide bombers. So bringing it back to sports, and again, I'm not making the comparison or the analogy, if a young, talented basketball player is being told from an early age that they are destined, it is a good thing to focus on basketball and not worry about what's going on in the classroom, Why are any kids going to be worried about what's going on in the classroom? Now, as a response, Ray Hanania of the National Arab American Journalists Association sent a statement back to the Mike and Mike show, pretty much saying, I think it was very inappropriate for Bunny to use that racial stereotype of Palestinians as an example to back up her comments that NBA hopefuls are programmed to make it in the NBA the way Palestinian children are programmed to become suicide bombers. I don't need to explain that suicide bombers are not a race or ethnicity, or that there are 7 million Palestinians and only 50 have been suicide bombers over the past 15 years. I say, even though the comments were probably not bright, considering how politically correct society is, and everybody knew there was going to be a backlash, and it really is a weird comparison, since one has really nothing to do with the other, she made a good point. Maybe the kids from Palestine aren't being bred to be suicide bombers, because that's really extreme. But we both know, and by both I mean anybody at all who has a brain in their head, has been following the news, and saw a focus of several Palestinian kids, adults, whatever, celebrating right after the freaking towers went down. The bottom line is this. Palestine culture is bred to hate Americans, to hate Israelis, and basically to hate the American way of life. It's freaking Palestine! God. I mean, thank gosh, not everybody from Palestine has this mindset. A lot of the people who escaped from that screwed up country came to the United States, saw the other side of the coin and said, I'll always be a Palestinian, I love my homeland, but damn, the government is messed up. I mean, come on. Keep it real. That's all I ask. I promise I'm going to get back to the letters and also the video requests. But when a topic hits home, I got to stay true to myself and discuss it. Wasn't trying to be funny with this, but I hope you guys at least got to think. Agree with me, not, whatever. I want your feedback regardless. Video responses always welcome. I don't censor them, unless you're outwardly racist. So, take care of yourself and have a great weekend, guys. Thanks for watching my shizzle. Peace! Literally and figuratively.
Bye, fans!
Kristen loves me and you.
Bye! Good night. Bye.
Good night.